Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
how you doing?
Hey. Good. I've been watching the stream pretty much all day.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
I think you're overdosing on hopium personally, but I
our
respect
our
it.
our odds for the presidency are very good right now. It's mostly the hopium is with the Senate. The Senate is
Mhm.
where I am, admittedly, being potentially optimistic.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
Yeah.
but the presidency feels relatively the odds of Nevada going red are just so unbelievably unlikely to me. Um,
hmm
But I mean, I guess anything's possible. I wanted to ask you something. Maybe like you can help maybe potentially with this.
Okay. Go for it.
How do you think we should best upset and antagonize MAGA hats
Oh
um,
God.
when the election is done? Assuming
Okay.
Biden wins, what can we do? I won't publish this if Biden loses, okay? We can pretend this never happened.
Okay. Okay.
But
So assuming
okay, yeah.
Biden wins, which I still don't think he is. I'm pessimistic.
Mhm.
Um, I think we just quietly collect, screen caps, quietly collect videos, make a big ass compilation, just call it Triggered Magas
Mhm.
or something like that.
So the classic
And
turnaround,
just,
essentially, like
yeah,
we want
and
to
just,
reflect 2016
it's
back on.
revenge, just pure revenge.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't want to get too cocky. It's because, like, I don't like Biden. Like, Biden could be just a shitty president. And it's like, I don't want to I don't want to like brag too hard.
Hmm.
But yeah, but it would be funny to see some meltdowns for sure. I already see some.
Oh
I
yeah.
see lots of
Oh
coping
yeah.
in my mentions. Um Last night was like legitimately scary when he was like, "Oh, we're going to stop counting the votes." It was like some fucking dystopian movie like happening in real time.
The main
Um
problem is that Trump is a fucking pussy. He talks a really big game, but he's
mhm.
not capable of or willing to really take that leap and do something like sending in federal officers to shut down polling stations. If he did
Mhm.
that, it would be immediate, like, fucking DEFCON 1 constitutional crisis, but he's not. What he's doing right now is the same shit they did to Florida in 2000, where they're hoping that they can manufacture like a public uprising that'll discourage the votes from being counted. They did that in Florida. There was this like Republican-led riot in Florida back in 2000 that it turns out was completely orchestrated by the Republican Party, and it worked in moving public opinion away from the potential for a recount.
There's already videos. I was sending it to you in the chat, but there's a video of people like outside and they're just like, "Stop the votes. Stop the
Yeah,
votes."
they're what they call
Horrifying.
poll enforcers, or what are they called?
Yes, the
Yeah, yeah,
poll
yeah. Not a
enforcement.
thing, by the way. That's not actually a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, I might have been overreacting last night, but I was just like, "Oh my God, like this is some dictator shit. Like what the fuck?" And
Well, it is
I already
dictatorship.
had,
It is
yeah,
absolutely
it's
dictatorship.
dictator
Yeah.
speak, yeah. Um Yeah, I was freaking out, but there were so many people, like so many right-wingers who were like quote tweeting my tweets and were like, "We wish." Mussolini moment. Like I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" There were so many of them like actually so excited for
Well,
Trump to actually
the
be a
frustrating
dictator.
thing is that we need to be vigilant anyway, because Trump could do that
Mhm.
if we lack conviction. If we just go like, oh, whatever, we win, okay, whatever, yeah, Trump, dictator Trump, then he could very well send federal officers to polling locations. He could very well do all of these overtly authoritarian things that he's been signaling that he wants to do. It's only through our vigilance that there's even a chance of keeping him from doing these things, you know?
Mhm. He's his fan base, his like cult, this giant cult of personality is actually like honestly scarier than he is. Like he could rile them up to just go nuts
Mhm.
and he wouldn't have to do anything. Um yeah, but in my mentions all these very familiar people
Mhm.
coping very hard this morning.
It's gonna be
Um
delicious.
it's
But the thing for me is like I don't want to make fun of like a poor Appalachian fucking coal miner or like some like former Rust Belt factory worker who's just desperate to bring jobs back from China. There are Trump voters who I don't like want to rub anything in, but the online political commentators are very clearly motivated by contempt for us.
Yeah, especially the ones that don't even live here. Like most of the ones that are coping hard in my mentions are not from America, and it's just like, what are you doing?
It's like,
why
fuck
do you
off,
want Trump
man.
to win?
Yeah.
They're only like reason they want Trump to win is just to own the libs. Like unironically, that is their reason. And it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, like underlying, even though there are contemptuous left-leaning people, like underlying, I think most of the people
Yeah.
who are Democrats genuinely do, like, there's like a policy they care about, or even if it's some weak-ass shit, like they want to preserve the liberal dignity of, you know, the electoral engagement or whatever dumbass shit. But like, there's some underlying like value there. A lot of conservatives really are just fucking contemptuous. A lot of them really just fucking hate women. They fucking hate black people, and they do. One thing that I dislike amongst like the kind of edgy skeptosphere and like sometimes parts of the left as well is the idea that people are exclusively motivated by some sort of high-minded economic interest, even if it's misguided. I think it's important to recognize a lot of people are just hateful, miserable pieces of shit who use elections as a shot of hurting people. They've been doing this for centuries. They did it back when the Confederacy seceded. They didn't do this because they had some high-minded economic principles they wanted to defend. They wrote into their constitutions the moral necessity of suppressing and dominating black people. Like, there are people who are just motivated by that, and I think it's important to remember that.
Yeah, I don't think they're the majority, but there definitely are.
They're not the
Lots of
majority,
people
but
like
they
that.
are the leaders. They are the loudest. Yeah.
A lot of people who were giving me shit like were just like, come on, you know, the join the winning team thing. That's all they do. They're like, okay, it's not too late to join our side and win. It's like, you don't care about policy or anything? Like, why would what's the winning what does that mean? It's just about winning?
No, yeah, it is about winning.
It's so weird.
There was a Reddit comment from like a year ago that I remember very fondly because it got clipped like a trillion times. And the Reddit comment said something like, it said like, I don't think you guys understand. I don't care about right or wrong. I don't care if Trump is right. I've sunk everything into this. It's about winning now. And like, it got clipped a bunch of times, but I think that's representative of the views of a lot of Trump supporters. Their identities are just so heavily invested in that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sending you a picture. Hold on. Look at this.
Wait, there are people screaming. What is this? Pennsylvania not close? What is this? Neither Michigan nor Pennsylvania seem poised to be especially close, say under the point once all the votes are counted. Wait. Not close in what direction? They say Michigan's not close because that's going heavily to Biden. I assume they mean Pennsylvania to Biden. Okay, yes, they mean Pennsylvania to Biden. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Why would you ever make a tweet? Why would you ever make a tweet as a fucking New York Times editor and say it's not even going to be close in Pennsylvania and not say which direction? Sorry. Let me check what you sent me. Ah, yes, give it to me. There is something that's even a little bit more fun about Biden winning with the whole contempt angle. And it's because Biden is like this senile old fool, so it's even more funny to be styled on by him. You know what I mean?
He just sucks. Yeah. I hate that we have to cheer for him. I honestly, as soon as he wins, gloves are off.
Yeah,
it's malarkey. It's malarkey time.
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, but I think it's important to treat him the right way, you know, because I think that for a lot of liberals, if we treat Biden like this like centrist establishment evil, I think it's going to make us look kind of bad because Biden comes off, and I think is probably like a decent person. Not like Hillary is like a shell assembled around like insect chitin that has been molded into the shape of an adult woman. So that I would be totally okay with the full evil like approach. But with Biden, I feel like it'd be better to go like, all right, Gramps, all right, Grandpa, the future's now. Medicare for all,
the
baby.
Future's now, old man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah, that's the angle we're gonna go with.
That's gonna be so much fun. Yeah, and then we could be like, and the Trumpers got styled on by fucking Gramps. We didn't even unleash a quarter of our power level on this, you know, on this election. That's the hope. Did you watch Malcolm in the Middle when you were a kid?
No, I didn't actually.
Really?
No. Yeah.
Oh, It's actually pretty
Why?
cool.
No, I've never seen it.
It was actually like really good. Like actually like really, really good.
I was one of those kids that like I almost exclusively liked cartoons when I was younger.
Mhm.
So like most live action stuff I kind of just tuned out of. But yeah, I've
That's
seen
fair.
like clips and stuff of it.
I never saw one thing you'd expect me to have watched that I never saw. I never saw Ren and Stimpy, which everyone expects that I would have. I feel like I get like surprised looks anytime I say that. So I guess people miss out on stuff. Oh wait, I'm being encouraged by my partner. If you're enjoying this stream, please do subscribe to the channel, guys. I'd really appreciate it if you did. Can you believe how effective that is, by the way, Shu? I feel like such a fucking hack, you know?
I did that in my last video, and I felt disgusting. I was just like, hey guys, if you like this stuff, subscribe, haha. But only do it if you like it.
Yeah, like don't do it if you don't do it if you don't want to. But it works like really well.
I don't. Yeah, it just feels it's like hit that like button, give it 5 stars, and subscribe. Remember when it was stars?
Ring the bell. Oh my god, that is so far back. That's like that was like didn't they make that change in like 2012?
Oh, I don't know, like 2010 probably.
Oh
it was
man,
like
yeah, like that is so old. But I remember that, yeah.
It used to be rate, comment, and subscribe.
Biden is going to win PA. Wait, hold on. We're getting some hopium. Pennsylvania Democrat officials are privately telling Biden campaign officials they believe the final margin for victory for Biden in Pennsylvania will be 100,000 to 200,000 votes when the counting is finally done. Wow, that would be pretty amazing. Yeah, if Pennsylvania gets taken as well as Nevada, then it's not even. Yeah, then that's over. It's over. I'm just glad we got Wisconsin and Michigan. That was like the big worry last night. You know. Yeah.
I was expecting to wake up like just Trump won.
Yeah, just that was the Red Mirage that they talked about, right?
Did you see that video of Bernie predicting all of this, by the way?
Yes, I did. Bernie.
Yeah.
The guy's pretty cool. He should run for president, you know?
Yeah.
How
do you think he would have done, by the way? Do you actually think he would have won?
Here's my thought. I think that Bernie Sanders, if he had won the primary in our universe, where he's the enemy of the Democratic Party in many ways, I think he would have lost. Because I don't think the Democratic apparatus would have done enough work to integrate the traditional moderate Democrat base into the fold. I think that in a universe where the Democrats worked with Bernie Sanders, like they fucking Kamehame fucking transformed together to form some synchronous organization that worked seamlessly in tandem with one another, I think that Bernie Sanders would have had a better shot than Biden. Because you would have had all of the institutional legitimacy of the DNC, but all of the hope and like anti-establishment vigor that Donald Trump succeeded in pulling people over with, you know?
Did you ever see those videos of Trump saying that he thought Bernie would have won, even in 2016?
A lot of Trump's rhetoric wouldn't have worked that well against Bernie Sanders, I don't think, because you can't really sell yourself as like an alternative to the system. Yeah, when you're running against an independent mayor, congressperson, senator who only went to the DNC last second for a shot at the presidency, isn't a billionaire, and rails against his own party, you know? Like, it's a hard sell.
Just the fact that he still tried to push the, oh, Biden is far left kind of thing. That whole song and dance, that was hilarious.
Well, that's the joke, right? Like, people were saying, like, moderates were saying, like, if Bernie wins, they're going to call him a socialist, you know?
Yeah,
but like, okay.
So we can't choose him.
Yeah. They could have
who
put fucking Delaney up, and it would, and he would have been.
Yeah, exactly. You know who actually like surprised me? Pete Buttigieg said something in a debate where he was like, "It doesn't matter; they're gonna call you a socialist anyway."
I haven't seen that. Did he actually say that?
Yeah, he said that in like the third debate or the second primary debate. It was like a really good point from him. Didn't expect that, but yeah, it's true. They're just gonna say it anyway. So like, who cares? Stop. Virtue signaling.
Every once in a while, Pete Buttigieg does come out with something good. I feel like whatever like AI algorithm they like feed Obama speeches into occasionally produces some really interesting results.
That's not even like, that's only a half joke, by the way. You've seen the video where he word for word steals Obama's speeches, even like the cadence and the pauses, right?
Yeah.
It's the scariest shit.
I mean, Obama is probably one of the most charismatic presidents we've ever had, so I get the sentiment, but when you do it like 4 years
Word
after
for
the guy.
word,
Yeah,
yeah.
word for word. It comes off a little cynical, you know.
It's not.
Oh, we have word from Lauren. Do you mind if I read a tweet from Lauren?
Oh, sure.
They're cheating. Anyone who says they aren't is intentionally ignoring the evidence. Poll watchers thrown out. Again, that's not a thing. Poll watchers aren't a thing. Biden/Harris signs outside polling buildings, boarding up windows to hide counting in Detroit. They're boarding up windows, and the only reason we know that is because of cameras from inside the polling places. So they're not hiding anything. They're just trying to keep the people outside from busting in. Don't pretend you care about democracy if you don't care about this. Shu, can you explain to me, what is a poll watcher?
So it's just, what is a poll watcher?
I don't know.
You stand there and watch someone vote?
They do realize that unless you have very special clearance, you can't literally watch them count the ballots, right?
Yeah, I don't really understand. I don't understand this their cheating thing, because like where's that coming from? I don't understand.
Well, I mean,
really
half
don't.
of it's
like
Oh yeah, sorry.
Sorry. No, you go.
No. I interrupt all the time. Go.
Okay. I don't trust I hate the Democratic Party, but like it's one thing when they kind of rat fuck inside their own party, but to claim that they're like cheating in the huge general election of the whole country, like I don't know, you'd have to have like serious proof of that, and I don't see any of that.
Yeah, claims that they rigged stuff against Bernie Sanders were largely not overstated, but misinterpreted too. The rigging was more like the DNC internal primary process involves a lot of discretion from a lot of people who have a vested interest in the establishment candidate winning, but it's not as much like a sneaky person in a burglar outfit like yoinks Bernie Sanders votes.
It was more, that's why I call it like rat fucking, not so much like rigging. It's just like they just kind of, they fuck him over, work behind the scenes, they try to, smear him and stuff like that.
And the DNC is a private org too. The way they handle their primary process, that's up to them. The general election is a legal and highly scrutinized process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the difference. And I don't really understand where they're cheating thing. Like they one YouTuber was coping in my mentions, and they posted this thing that in Michigan, I think it looks like the Democrats, like it shot up out of nowhere, like the votes, and they're just like, look, this is cheating, but that's just how mail-in
That's what they're
work.
talking about. That state specifically had it. You can read this on Wikipedia. They released the results of all the mail-in ballots at once after all of them have been counted. Like, that's it. So we all knew, and we all knew the mail-ins were going to favor Biden, and it happened.
Yeah, we knew that for weeks. And it was also like Detroit too, which is like super Democrat, right?
Yeah, did they think Detroit was going to come out? Yeah, the fucking hidden MAGA hat squad in Detroit rolling out with the 2-week early mail-in votes. Everything that's happening right now is predicted. Everything that's happening right now that the Republicans are calling, like they're saying, is a coup. All of this is a completely
we've known about this.
Yeah, we've known about this. And what they're saying is evidence of a coup is the fact that they're not being allowed to illegally interfere in the process. That's the coup, that we're not letting them break the law.
And oh my god, there were people like, it's just he's trolling. It's 4D chess, when Trump was like, stop counting the votes or whatever. Like, oh, they're just trolling. Like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Trump.
They've been doing that they've been doing that the whole fucking time, dude. It's gotten real tired.
4D chess.
They're fucking they're pussies is what they are. They know he's not joking. They know he's not. But they're betas, they're pussy-ass beta bitch boys, and they don't want to actually have to defend the stupid shit he says and does. So instead, they'll say, oh, it's just a joke, mate. And they'll completely sidestep it. And that way, you're the humorless git if you don't see that it's a joke too, you know?
But I don't even understand this. Like, he's the president of the United States. Like, why is he trolling so much? Even if it was him joking, like, haha, I don't respect American democracy, LOL, I'm just pretending to be stupid kind of thing. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
yeah, even that.
Why is that acceptable?
Would be disqualifying. Yeah. But like they would do this up to the death camps, man. They would be like, "Lol, he's just joking," all the way up to the fucking all the trains. But the thing is, and we know this if you actually look at Trump. Trump doesn't make jokes. He keeps saying this. Like, he'll say something horrible and his campaign team will be like, Trump was just joking. And then Trump will say, no, I wasn't. He doesn't make jokes. He's utterly humorless. Remember the most recent Biden debate where Biden made a joke by calling him Abraham Lincoln because he always talks about how he's like the best president
Yes.
for blacks ever. And Trump actually seemed hurt and confused. He was like, wait, Abraham Lincoln? I'm not Abraham Lincoln. I don't understand. What are you saying? I actually don't think he gets jokes, which would fit in line with him being a narcissist. If narcissists tend to think of everybody else as just kind of being like tools or items or objects or like decor to assist them. So the idea of another person using like a ploy or like a play on words to elicit a reaction they didn't expect is often very confusing to them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that sounded like armchair psychology, but that is like a thing. That is, yeah.
No,
sorry.
sometimes I think like I don't think he's a dictator. I think he's like just a narcissist.
But that's how it always is,
that's
right?
The same, yeah, I guess that's the same thing in a way, but kind of. I don't think he has any like political motivations.
I just think he likes attention. I really think that's it. You know, Hitler was exactly the same. Again, I know.
What a lib.
Yeah, what a lib, I know.
This
but
fucking...
when you actually read historical accounts of how he behaved, he was lazy, incompetent, obsessed with his public image. He would be angry if he saw criticism of him, and then he would like cheer up when people were complimentary of him. His cabinet, his administration had to constantly sugarcoat everything to him because he'd get angry and upset otherwise. Like, I think this is a hot take. I think fascists are just kind of shit. They just kind of suck, you know? Just generally.
Damn. Clipped and shipped.
Divisive.
How can you say that?
Yeah, it's rough. But how are you feeling?
I'm feeling better today. Last night, I was pure doomer mode. Just like, holy fuck. Well, like even I still expect Trump to win in the back of my mind. Even though I was not expecting Biden to win, just the fact that like 2016 seemed to be playing out again, I was just like, oh fuck, this sucks.
Yeah.
And then I woke up this morning and it was just like a nice little dose of hopium.
Well, I think that no matter what, the fact that this wasn't a blowout means that we're going to be dealing with the consequences of this latent fascist movement for a very long time. And that's really, honestly, that's like really unfortunate.
It's like embarrassing that it's such a close race.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing in 2016. It's embarrassing now because like in 2016, like the Dems were really cocky about winning. I was convinced that Hillary won already. And just the fact that it was such a close race and the popular vote and everything was really embarrassing, and it's embarrassing again.
Yeah,
it's like
I mean,
people like Trump.
This is America, dude.
That's just yeah.
Don't catch you slipping now. You know, it's true.
Yeah. We have to like. I feel like we also have to like learn to understand why people like Trump so much too. I feel like a lot of people just kind of hand wave it off as either just like, you know, everyone's racist who voted for him or whatever. I feel like there's more that we need to understand about why Trump is so attractive to people.
I think the main reason is just dying empires elicit fear in the privileged people in those empires. And that just seems to be like a historical reality. And right now, people do seem to feel that way about the United States of America. Even back during the 1960s, which, I mean, they were pretty darn racist back then, certainly more so than now, at least openly. People still generally had an optimistic attitude for where the country and where society was going in spite of the Cold War. But I feel like nowadays, people basically understand that even with the best possible governance, the future is going to be dark. And I feel like that's encouraging people to act very tribalistic. And Trump represents that tribalism to a T. That's my general guess, like my very broad, you know?
Yeah. I know in 2016 like, why he was, I could tell, like, because he was the outsider. He was, like, quote, the populist or whatever. But this time around, I was actually really confused why people were still voting for him. Yeah, but they like him, and I don't know. There's a lot of Trump does a lot of scapegoating for problems, though.
Gotcha. Wait, hold
Obviously,
on.
with
Trump
sorry.
press conference is
in Nevada.
Oh, Giuliani is on. Can I share this with you? We can watch together.
Yes.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Just want to catch this.
No, it's good.
Here you go. Okay, I'm gonna have it on live, and I'll be playing it out loud for everyone.
And it's ballots, which has been a cause of real concern for
He's
everyone
such a
because they
ghoul.
can easily
Yeah,
be fraudulent.
his teeth.
Well, one of the things that the law attaches to that is the right for both parties to observe the ballot, the way we do with absentee
Not
ballots.
random dipshits,
You make
lawyers.
certain
You
it's
send
properly
lawyers.
signed. On the outside, there's a signature. You make sure that it's properly postmarked. You make sure that it's properly addressed, and then you pass on it. A number of these are often challenged by the Democrat representative or the
You
Republican
don't just send
representative.
random fucking people. You send
We never got a
legitimate.
chance to look at a single one of them.
1 second.
The gentleman here who did this for us says about 100,000 ballots went through that process in the 20-plus hours in which they wasted his time by not allowing him to see a single ballot.
Giuliani reminds me of like
ballots that
a
should be just be
rejected
taken
Always
out of the
Sunny in
count.
Philadelphia character.
So you want to look at that number, that 120,000 should come
like
out.
he'd be Danny DeVito's
This is
like
an area in which Biden is getting
business partner.
60, 70% of the vote.
Did he
I
just
don't know.
Roman
I don't know if this is going on any other place,
All right.
but it is going on in enough frequency in Wisconsin that we've brought suit. And now we'll have to look
What
into
is
3
everyone
other
truing?
places.
What did I miss?
What it says to me is this is a
said that he
concerted
looks like a rejected Always
effort
Sunny in Philadelphia character.
of the
True.
crooks that run the Democrat Party.
Like he'd be Danny DeVito's
you know these big
partner
city-
in crime.
Machines are crooked. You know that. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years of one-party rule leads to corruption of all kinds. Voter fraud is one of the biggest because that's how you keep
I know
your
that they
power.
weren't calling corruption
But
when
we're
they
not gonna
won
let
these
them get away
states in
with it.
2016.
We're not going to steal this election. This election gets decided by the
Steal this
people.
election.
These people, the elite, they
These
don't
people.
The
care about the
elite.
people.
The elite.
The people are the deplorables,
You're the elite,
chumps.
bitch. What?
The fucking Giuliani. How long
You
has
know,
he
they're
been
not
in government?
What the fuck?
To President Trump, he's the whole reason that he ran for office.
This is more QAnon
And he's the
signaling.
whole reason for which he's
Yeah, this
carrying
is-
on this
what is
campaign.
this? This is
so that your vote
conspiratorial.
can mean something.
That's all they have
Your
now.
vote doesn't get
They
wiped
really
out by
are turning into the
100,000
conspiracy theory,
fraudulent,
like,
meaningless
parties.
paper ballots
Crazy.
that no one gets to observe.
Well, you know, Dems had the
So
whole
we are
Russia
going to
thing. They kind of went nuts
Continue
with
the
that.
lawsuit here.
Sure,
We're
sure,
gonna bring a
sure. But at
second
least
one.
that led to credible
Then we're gonna bring a
indictments. I mean, there
federal
was
lawsuit.
something there. They took it to
And
the
we're going to
actual
take a very good
investigation.
look
This is
at
just
whether
signaling.
we
Just
bring
vague,
this nationally. We certainly are going to bring it here and in
vague
Wisconsin.
conspiracy,
Quite
baseless.
possibly
The
we'll do a
elites.
national
Michigan
lawsuit
has been
and
called for
really
Biden, by the
expose
way.
the corruption of the Democrat Party. But this is beyond anything I've ever seen before. This comes when you think you have so much power and you
They're
own the
literally
media
just counting votes. That's what it is,
that you
right?
can do anything
There's
you
no
want.
evidence of anything
Well,
otherwise.
sorry.
There's-
We're going to fight for the people. We're going to vindicate their right. And the ultimate result is President Trump has won Pennsylvania. I've never heard of a count where you're ahead by 400,000
Did he
with
win
80+%
Pennsylvania?
counted.
He's
And they haven't
literally
called
going
it
like
for
they
you.
counted the mail-ins.
They called California the moment the polls closed.
I've been
How many
saying
votes
this
do you have
for
to be ahead?
like months, though, that the mail-ins are
To
gonna
win, for a Republican to win here. How many votes do we have to be ahead? 400,000 is not enough? With 80+% counted, I think there's only 14% of the vote to go. Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Yes.
You know something? The Democrats do think you're stupid, and they do think you're fools.
That is true.
And that's why you get called deplorable and chumps. It's over.
They've been calling
gonna
us
stick
like
with this.
crazy far left or whatever.
gonna win
they
this election
they
without
call
you.
us
Never.
non-Americans.
It's just a matter of
Yeah.
counting the votes fairly. So I'd like to ask the former Attorney General of Florida, Pam Bondi, to explain what's been going on at the polling
give it to
places,
me.
which is just as dastardly and just as criminal.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. And as Eric Trump said, we are thrilled to have won Pennsylvania with 87% of the vote in. and we're up almost 400,000 votes. So we're thrilled. And you ask, well, why
Hasn't
do
been
we care
counted.
about the rest of the
Mail-in
votes?
ballots haven't
Because
been
it is about
counted.
the integrity of this election. And
Bad
every
when
vote,
mail-in
as
are
Mayor
counted.
Giuliani said, in every state must be counted fairly. What
Dems
we have
might
seen, and we
win.
have a video of it that we will release
Might.
to you.
No.
They put up, it looks like a police barricade all the way around the perimeter, and they
You
are
can't
keeping
storm
our
polling
poll watchers
offices.
back approximately 30 feet. At least 30 feet. You
Are
can
they
judge for
complaining that
yourselves.
they're trying to,
They
like-
would not let them look any further. There is a gentleman there by the name of Seth Bluestein, who is an assistant to a city commissioner, and he is wearing a badge the size of a
Bluestein,
baseball.
they.
And as far as I know, he's not a sworn law enforcement officer. So it looks like intimidation to me, with a police
The
barricade
elite.
and a man wearing a huge badge around his neck. He told them they can't come any closer. He said the reason was because of
What are they saying? They're
they
just
can't
saying that
interfere with
the
the
people are
process, and then
collecting,
something about
like,
code.
They're, I
protecting
mean,
the polls?
they're literally doxing random individuals and signaling that they're responsible for election fraud because they're not allowing randos to fucking storm a polling place. This is insane.
Because then they also had binoculars. Our poll watchers brought out a pair of binoculars. They were shut down on the binoculars, but then they were told, well,
Our
okay, you can
poll
use the
watchers bought
binoculars.
binoculars?
So that's a concession that we are allowed to observe the ballots.
With
Yet clearly when you see how big the room
lawyers,
is,
with
you
appointed
cannot
people,
see
not
every ballot. You can only
randos.
see with the binoculars the ones that are closest to you. So that's a concession by them,
Imagine
and they're still
these
not letting
poll
us see
watchers,
this. So
just
we need to
these
fix this.
random
We need to
boomers with
remedy
binoculars
this now, because
scoping out
we've won Pennsylvania.
They
and we
literally
want
want
every
to
vote be
stand behind
counted in a
poll
fair
counters
way.
with like
Thank you, and I'd
ARs,
like to
just like
introduce
breathing
Corey
down their
Lewandowski.
necks. What is it with neocons and their blonde trophy wives? It's the only way you're allowed to be a
General
woman
Bondi
in
and
the
I will be
Republican
here
Party.
for the remainder until you all realize that President Trump has won this state. We have now officially declared the state of Pennsylvania.
You see that sign
Trump
in the
country,
back?
until
Women
the
for
last
They've
vote is
officially
counted.
declared
General Bondi and I will
Pennsylvania.
be here. I'm sure we'll
I
be in
love
constant
this.
communication with.
The Associated Press banner says too early to declare winner in presidential election, as he's saying we officially declare it Trump country.
Oh my god. That's a
Jeremy?
good screen cap.
This is a gentleman, I'll have him introduce himself. This is a gentleman who volunteered 2 days of his time in order to do a civic duty and was obstructed in a horrible way by the crooked Democrat machine of Philadelphia, which really has been around so long.
Sad.
It's a shame.
Into this man.
Hi, thank you, Mayor. Jeremy Mercer, and I was at the polls or at the pre-canvass yesterday from 7 a.m. until just after midnight. Back again this morning,
just a random
before
guy?
8 a.m.
I don't know. He
until
looks very meek,
around
though. I want
2:30.
to like fight him.
And as has been described very well, we're there, supposedly observing, but we can't see. We're further away than I am from you all here.
He looks like a fat
at least
beaker.
100 feet
No.
away from open ballots that go back out of our sight. We can't see them. We don't know what's happening to them. It's just there's no way for us to meaningfully observe the process from where they have us.
These
Tell us how many ballots
ballots are like
approximately
actually being destroyed.
went
Like
through
they're
that
going
process
through the
that you had no
ones
chance
that
to
are for
observe?
Trump.
Wait,
and
Based on the
destroying
counts that we've heard,
Wait, based on
it's
the counts.
about 125,000, maybe more.
Well, so that should be deducted from the count.
What?
Those are ballots that were counted in violation of the law
What's
without
happening?
an observation. And since this is a novel procedure, this mail-in thing, observation is particularly important
Novel
to satisfy
procedure?
the possibility
This mail-in
that you can
thing?
We've been
defraud.
doing this
isn't
for
if
as
you
long
come
as
in
the
and show an
country.
identification. So
Has been
That's
that's what we're
around.
going to be
Actually
seeking
insane.
here.
This is
and
actually
in
insane.
Wisconsin.
He's actually saying they should just eliminate 1/8 of a million ballot votes because
I'm
they're
losing
claiming
my
they didn't get
mind.
to fucking breathe down the neck of the fucking poll workers as they counted them.
No questions right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Can they do a recount? Like if they're coping this hard, like I wouldn't mind.
He didn't
if
call
they
for
did
a recount. He counted for them to be removed.
Got this. Sorry.
Wow. Wow. Country. Like I wouldn't mind if they did a recount. Like sure. Go for it.
Yeah, 1 second, I'm waiting. Novel procedure. Jesus Christ.
That was
How do you feel about all this?
I'm like concerned for this country. All I feel is concern. Like
These
this is
people aren't
actually
going away.
conspiratorial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this isn't going away, you know. After the election, like we're going to be dealing with this forever. Or at least for a very long time.
What is the Republican Party gonna become?
I mean, this is it, right? You hear about the neo-Nazi who got elected?
Was that the guy who like sexually assaulted allegedly?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, the kid in the wheelchair who
160 people.
who named his fucking funding group after the Roman after the fucking Roman Senate, which is a Nazi dog whistle because they're obsessed. I mean, the term fascist literally came from like a Roman euphemism. Like it's a Nazi dog whistle, saying the way they use Roman runes. And he went in like the Hitler fucking bunker, and he said it was like crossing off his bucket list. So that kid's a Nazi and apparently a rapist. And we have the two QAnoners. And yeah. Can you imagine being one of the people that kid raped and then like seeing him? It's like, I mean, at least with Kavanaugh, like this shit came out mostly in the appointment process. But with that kid, they had like a massive campus campaign to get him denounced before he even, you know, got elected.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say.
I'm just yeah. Okay. I am going to go.
Yeah. Thank you.
This was fun.
Yeah, thank you. Be well. Good luck. Don't drink too much, and we'll do what we can. Apparently, Puerto Rico has decided on statehood, so it's going to be sent up to Congress. So that's nice.
Wait, but there was more good news. Apparently, oh, I forgot which state it was. Drugs were decriminalized. Did you see that?
Yeah, in Oregon, just south of me. You can go over there and get some fucking shrooms or something.
And then also Florida, $15 minimum wage. So.
And then they went red anyway for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Bye,
Be well.
chat. Bye. Bye, Vosh.
Bye.